On today's episode, we visit an abandoned NASCAR track. The track originally opened in 1910 as a dirt racetrack. Join Jess and me as we look inside and see what still remains. Infield Care Center.
Wonder how many wrecks they had here.
I don't know if there was ever any death here.
I don't know. Well, we can look that then.
Originally opened as a horse racing track farther up in the center of town in the 1850s as the Northampton County Agricultural Fairgrounds. By the early 1900s, the popularity of the track grew to a point where it was no longer feasible to hold events at this location, and a new half-mile track was constructed at the current location between routes 191 and 248. In the 1910s, the fairgrounds hosted motor racing events, and in 1966, a second 1 1/8 mile dirt track was added. 21 years later, the Penske-owned paved speedway replaced the larger track, and the small track was raised and replaced by the expanding of a nearby grocery store.
I wonder if they were part of St. Luke's.
It was actually the old company, ISC.
Hospital trays. Figure out how to use those. Me, like PhD, just use a tray.
Nobody knows how to use those. The first automotive events held were not racing, rather it was a sport called auto polo. Automobile polo, or auto polo, was a motor sport invented in the United States with rules and equipment similar to equestrian polo, but using automobiles instead of horses. The sport was popular at fairs, exhibitions, and sporting venues across the United States, and several areas in Europe from 1911 until the late 1920s. It was, however, dangerous and carried the risk of injury and death to the participants and spectators and expensive damage to vehicles. The first large race to take place at the small track was in 1947 by the Auto Association AAA. The race drew a crowd of some 11,000 spectators and included 35 cars. In 1952, Jerry Fried purchased the fairgrounds. He continued the racing and added additional events such as demolition derbies. The track was also one of the locations of the first enduro races on the East Coast. From 1971 to 1982, the small track continued to operate, while the larger track was closed. Finally, in 1988, under Roger Penske's ownership, the half-mile track was sold to nearby Lanco and razed. Why has this not been used as a restroom? And over 10 years, but still it smells like a restroom.
The TV was not biodegradable. It's still sitting there.
Yes.
Like bedding?
So, yeah, I was just gonna say, in all seriousness, what exactly was this?
I feel like, did they maybe have, like, it kind of looks like off-track bedding, but at the same time, it is comfortable.
So there were voice and data lines in every spot. Hey guys, anybody watching this know what this would have been at a racetrack? Betting? Maybe news reporters? Although it does seem kind of big for news reporters.
For a small town track.
But if anyone knows, leave a comment below.
Old school phone. Receivers. Have you ever seen Marlboro cups?
No, it's old.
That was back when they were allowed to advertise.
The new 1 1/8 mile track was opened in 1966. This was a 5-turn track and was opened as the Nazareth National Speedway. Over the years, several notable racers raced at Nazareth Speedway: Frankie Snyder, and probably most notably, Mario and Michael Andretti. In 1971, the large track was closed until the Speedway was purchased in 1982. Lindy Vicari, the new owner of the Speedway, cleared 11 years of plant growth, refurbished the facilities, and shortened the bigger track to a 1-mile dirt oval. Vicari shortly learned the cost to maintain the Speedway was much greater than expected, and in 1983, Nazareth Speedway was closed again.
sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
Tune in next week for the second part of this two-part episode, where we continue to explore what we think is the media building and take a look at what else is left on the racetrack. If you have enjoyed looking at what is left of Nazareth Speedway, take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe. We have so much more to show. Until next time, stay safe.